All right. All right, Joe, say good morning. Let's begin. So we left off yesterday, page Kuf Memches, last section on the page. Remember again, we began to discuss yesterday the concept of refuah, the concept of illness, the concept of healing as it pertains to the concept of emunah. And the Chaver explained to us again that we're applying the same three principles, the three profound or major principles of emunah. Everything comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Everything is for good. And again, the third part is that there's a message in everything. The way this is manifesting itself by illness is lefashvesh b'ma'asav, to look within my deeds and to try to understand what message could it be that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving me. Doesn't mean that I've received illness because of sin, chas v'shalom. Is that a possibility? Anything is a possibility, but the goal is to be able to look within myself and to be able to go ahead and understand what potential message HaKadosh Baruch Hu may be conveying to me. So he goes on. This is actually going to be a very interesting piece. Now, medicine is science, like any other form of science. Chokim, Ritzinim, Ba'aminim, Meshkim, Shos, Rabos, Umamon Rav, Barichas, Nisuyim, Ubedikos. So there are many clinical trials, there's much research, an incredible amount of money goes into the field of medicine to developing refuah. So again, sometimes medical science will discover what causes a particular disease. And then we figure out, once we understand the causes, then we can figure out ultimately how to treat it. Baruch Hashem, we live in an age where we are privileged to see dramatic inroads in science, dramatic inroads in medicine. So medicine does its research, science does its research, conducts its trials and tests, and then ultimately understands the cause of disease. Once you understand the cause, then you could develop the treatment. So again, on the most basic level, one would posit that medicine is a very logical discipline. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave man intellect, and through that intellect, man has the ability to understand the natural order of the world, and man has the ability to somehow improve that world. And man has an obligation. It's very important. So, the Ramban points this out when HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Adam Arishon, Peru uravu meluas haaretz, so populate the world. Vikivshuha. What does kivshuha mean? So literally subdue it. What does it mean to subdue the world? So the Ramban understands what it means is unlock the secrets of the world. Don't be content to be a spectator in the universe, but understand how the world works, why the world works. Understand, you ever wonder to yourself, man has this incredible desire to know what's beyond the earth, to know what's in the stars, to know what's beyond the stars. What's the shot? We've got enough going on down here. I don't understand, why do we need to spend millions upon billions of dollars sending people to the moon? Not as much. Why that fascination? That's the kivshua. Because the Moshe said, I want you to subdue the world. So the Mechaber says over here, so research and medicine and advances in science, this is part of our moral mandate. This is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us, to use our seichel, to understand what's happening around us. He goes on, he says, especially when man uses his intellect in a way that ultimately brings incredible simcha to the world. Again, what medicine, it's true that on one hand, every advance in medicine also brings complications and moral, ethical decisions and dilemmas. That's true. But at the end of the day, when there's a breakthrough in science, when there's a cure to a particular disease, it's an overwhelming bracha. He goes on, he says, and again, just in general, the use of the intellect for the betterment of man has manifested itself in many positive ways. HaChashmal, electricity. Machshirim, top of page Kuf Memtes. Machshirim shonen, all different types of machinery, of technology. Technologim miskadmos, v'chule v'chule. Imkein, kabin harafua mispakish, sheyasa adam shimush b'seichel lebetvuna shechanan osabore. Therefore, when it comes to matters of refuah, when it comes to matters of healing, so logic dictates that man uses his seichel, man uses his logic, man uses his mind to figure out ultimately again how to help himself. To benefit his life. So again, man has an obligation to utilize his mind to advance the field of medicine to be able to cure disease. And obviously, all the more so, this concept is strengthened when you see an explicit drush in Chazal. What does that mean? Mikan shenitna harishus l'rofei l'rapos. So the Gemara darshans over here. This is the divine license to heal. So therefore, there are many great rabbis throughout the ages who have involved themselves in medicine. Beinehem Harambam, Habal Shem Tov, Va'ot. So what's going on over here? So what's the message in all of this? So the maskana, the conclusion that comes from all of this is that ultimately, again, medicine, science is a knowledge like all other forms of knowledge. So therefore, again, if you were to ask from a scientific perspective, how do you treat disease? So what's the answer? You study it. You understand it. You research it. You understand what the causes of it are, and then you develop a cure. So again, in that respect, it's no different than anything else. So if I'm cold, so I utilize again my seichel to understand how do I create heat for myself. If I'm sick, I go ahead and I use my seichel to try to understand ultimately again how do I go ahead and cure myself. So we'll say so far again, nothing especially like dramatic or spiritual about this. So we'll say here's where the chap comes. Let's just do two more lines. It's the paragraph it's the section that begins Ha'adam Hamushkach, page Kuf Memtes. Ula. So everything we've just said. Now essentially remember, so what have we just said? We've just said Chosh Baruch Hu gave us a seichel. He gave us a mind. He gave us incredible intellectual prowess. He also gives us a divine mandate of Vikiv Shuha. Conquer the world, subdue the world. What does that mean? God says, I gave you intellect. I ask you not to be passengers or passive spectators in the world. Understand the world, unlock the secrets of the world, understand science, understand why things work, understand medicine, know how to cure disease. Beautiful. Good. However, Ulam, everything we've just said would be absolutely true. Ilu everything we've just said is true and applicable, but only in the realm of healing the body. In other words, up until now, our discussion has been pertinent to physical healing. I am physically ill. I'm a physical corporeal being. Therefore, again, how do I cure my illness? I try to discover what's the cause of the illness. And then once I discover the cause, I can understand how to treat it, and then I could cure it. However, he says, but so the Mechaber says something amazing. Now that I understand that man is not just an intellectual being, now that I understand that man is not just a living being just like the animals, then I have to understand that when man becomes ill, this is no longer just a physical discussion. This is no longer just a discussion about physical ailment, about physical maladies. Rather, Riesh Rak Hashkacha Pratis. Once I accept the fact that man is a spiritual being, that means by definition, man cannot address, again, in this case, it's going to be health, but as we're going to see, it's true in anything. Man can never just address his issues by looking at the symptoms and trying to understand what the cure is. Once man is a spiritual being who is governed by Hashkacha Pratis, divine providence, then what? then man has an obligation to understand the spiritual dimension of everything that occurs to him as well. So we'll stop over here for today. We'll pick up, now that we set the table for this, we'll pick up in Meretz Hashem with understanding the spiritual dimension of illness in Meretz Hashem tomorrow. Okay, good. All right. All right, so we'll say good morning. Let's begin. Beautiful daf ahead of us today. Today's daf is Tzadik Dalid. We are picking up Tzadik 94. We are picking up Tzadik Gimel base 93b, and we are picking up at Darash Bar Kafra. Amar Avitam Darash Bar Kafra. It's 2, 4, 6, 8 lines up from the bottom. Tzadik Gimel 93b. So the Amar our shir dedicated by Mr. Isaac Samuel, in memory of his beloved wife Esther Bas Ardichil Meir Cohen, hope that in the merit of our Talmud Torah, her neshama will have an aliyah, the family and the chama, and also by Adam Yudit Ben Zev, dedicating the shiurim this month in honor of their mishpacha, in honor of the kihila. So let's begin. Amar of Tanchum, Darash Bar Kafra B'tzipori. So Sefer Daniel Shenikra Al Shmo. Michti, Kol Mili de Ezra ben Nehemiah. Excuse me, Kol Mili. Actually, that's Michti. Kol Mili de Ezra Nehemiah ben Chachal Ya'amrinu. So what's the Gemara? That's an interesting question. In the book of Ezra, most of the statements, or most of the information in the book of Ezra came from the Navi Nehemiah. So why is it called Ezra? The Gemara says, Amir Nehemiah ben Chachal. My time alo ikri Sifrei al Shmei. So why is the Sefer not known by his name? Amr because I will say Nehemiah literally again tried to take credit for himself, which I will say means that Nehemiah ultimately felt that certain things that would happen or should happen in his merit. So the Gemara says, because the pasuk says, Zachar li Elokai l'tova, because he said, remember me HaKadosh Baruch Hu for Tova. So it seems to me what the Gemara is saying over here is that Nehemiah felt that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should do certain things in his merit. He felt that he merited certain divine salvation, certain divine help. Because there was a certain level of display of arrogance, therefore HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not name the Sefer after him. So the Gemara says, 1 second, David Nami Meimar Amar Zachrani Hashem B'Ritzon Amecha, Paktini B'Shua Secha. But David Amelech seems to say the same exact thing. Ribono Shel Olam, remember me. Remember me. When he says remember me, but what that means is in his zuchos. So the which the Gemara says, David Rachani Udikabai. David was supplicating. David was asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu ultimately again for Rachmanis, not asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do anything in his merit. Rav Yosef our Shesiper Biginusan Sharishonim. Others say that the Sefer is not called Nehemiah because Nehemiah spoke disparagingly about earlier generations. What did he say? Shneimar, va'apachos harishon shelefanai ichbidu alam va'yikach mehem belechem v'yayin echad asar kesef shkalim arbaim. So the Gemara says, because Nehemiah said, the rulers who came before me, the Nevi'im who came before me, ultimately again extorted taxes or extorted food from the general populace. He was maligning the previous leaders. So the Gemara says, va'af al Daniel shagadol mimenu siper. He even spoke negatively about Daniel, who was before him. So as a result of speaking negative, we'll say an incredible yisod in general, that one is never able to propel themselves up to new heights by speaking negatively about others. Nehemiah put others down, and as a result, he is put down as well. How do we know ultimately again that Daniel was greater than Nehemiah? So the Gemara says, Lo ro es amara avar charod gidola nafla aleim va'yibarchu beichavei v'anashim asher hayu imi lo ro es amara. So let's listen to this. So actually, that's the first part of the passage again. So the idea over is that Daniel's saying that I saw a particular vision. The other people who were with me did not see that vision. They were frightened, and we'll discuss what that fight was about. They were frightened, but they did not see the vision as I saw. So you see over here that Daniel saw a vision by himself, and others did not see that vision with him. Umanin hu anoshim. Who are these other people were Daniel who didn't see the vision? So this was Chagai, Zechariah, and Malach, top of Tzadik Dalet. Inu adifi minay, v'iu adif minayu. So it's like in certain respects, Chagai, Zechariah, and Malach were better than Daniel, greater than Daniel, and in certain respects, Daniel was greater than them. Inhu adifu minay. So ultimately, again, they were greater than Daniel. The inhu nevi, v'ihu lo navi. Chagai, Zechariah, and Malach were neviim. Daniel was not a navi. So what does that mean? Of course, Daniel was a navi. He's amongst the neviim. The idea is, if you look at Sefer Daniel, Daniel didn't really give nevuas which were pertinent to the general populace. In other words, Daniel delivered messages, most of them prophetic, nothing that was of active import to the people right now, as opposed to Chagai, Zechariah, and Malachi, who gave, we'll call it, halacha l'maisa messages now. So in that respect, he calls them a navi, not him a navi. V'iu adif minayu. Daniel was greater than them. Because after all, Daniel was able to see this great vision, and they were unable to see it. That's the Gemara. I understand. The way the pasuk reads on both sides, that Daniel is saying, I saw this great vision. They, Chagai, Zechariah, Malachi, did not see it, but yet they were frightened. So that's the Gemara. I don't understand. If they didn't see the vision, then why were they frightened? After which the Gemara says, my time at Ibis Afgab inu lo chazi. Midi mazlayo chazir. Boss has an amazing answer. The Gemara says, even though they didn't see it, their mazel saw it. So we'll say, but Pashtas, what this means is every person who has a malach who's assigned to him as well. That malach advocates for me. That malach looks, so to speak, looks out for me. So their malachim, their angelic emissaries, saw the vision. They were scared by the vision, and that fear trickled down to Chagai, Zechariah, and Malachi. So the Gemara says, Amar Ravina, Shema Ravina said, you learn from this. Haiman de Mavis. That sometimes if a person is overcome by fear and they can't explain it, even though you didn't see anything in particular that should inspire fear, Mazle Chazi. Know that your malach has seen something that has scared the malach, and that angelic fear, your angel's fear, ultimately has trickled down to you. So also what that means is actually an interesting idea. Because there are times like when we do find ourselves overwhelmed by a bit of pachad, not exactly sure why. So the Gemara attributes to the fact that my malach has seen something that is frightening. So now what do I do? What's my response to that situation? So the Gemara says, "My takante, linshov miduchte arba'a garmidi." This is amazing. What should you do? You should jump from your place, dalaramas. Jump from your place, dalaramas. So we'll say, so what does this mean? So we'll say, so to understand what it means is the following, and it goes back to what we're learning in Gana Emuna. The idea the Gemara is saying over here is change your location. Why change your location? Mishana makom, mishana mazel. The idea being that when you see something fearful, when you feel fear, that means your malach saw something fearful, which is a wake-up call to something in life needs to change. Something in life needs to change. How do I give symbolic form to that need for change? I jump dalarabas. Sometimes what you just need to do is you need to jump out of your place. You need to jump out of your spot. You need to remind yourself that, again, something needs to change in my life. Inami likros kriyashma. The other possibility is kriyashma. So we'll say this represents something different, which is this represents when you're fearful. So ultimately, reach out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Reach out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Remember, kriyashma represents putting my faith in the emotion that He could help me through anything. And lastly, if you can't say Shema, then say the following. Say the following recitation. The goat in the slaughterhouse is fatter than me. Which I will say is, so what this seems to be saying is, don't whatever is supposed to happen, don't take it out on me, take it out on the goat in the slaughterhouse. We'll say what this is humility. Is humility. What the Gemara is discussing over here is that there is a three-pronged approach ultimately to facing adversity. Number one is using adversity as a catalyst for change. That's the jumping. Number two, using adversity as a way to reinforce my emunah. That's Shema Yisrael. And number three, the goat in the slaughterhouse is fatter than me, is using adversity to reinforce humility. So the Gemara goes weiter. You want to say, so ultimately, Pasuk Yeshaya, Lamar be'hamishra, u'l'shalom ein kates. So Amar Rabbi Tanchum, Darish bar Kafra b'tzipari, mepnei ma kol mem shebe'emtza teva ha'pasuach, v'zesas. And I will say, if you happen to have the psukim on the sides of your Gemara, in the Torah or Hashalim, in the left-hand margin, so you'll notice that the way that pasuk is written is very strange. It says lamarbe, but the mem is a mem sophis, right? It's an end mem, but yet it's in the middle of it's in the middle of the word. So the Gemara says literally lamarbe mishra l'shalom ein kates. It means he who increases the dominion of HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have peace without end. So the Gemara asks, why is it that normally a mem in the middle of a word is open, but yet this mem is closed? So listen to this amazing Gemara. The Rebbe wanted to make King Chizkiyo the Mashiach. So let's remember again, King Chizkiyo is the Melech over Yehuda. He is the son of Achaz, the father of Menashe. We spoke about Menashe a few days ago. He reigns for 55 years. Is a Rasha for 33 of them, does Tshuva for 22 of them. Chizkiyo is in the middle. Chizkiyo was exceptionally righteous. His father was Achaz, was exceptionally evil. Menashe for the first 3 decades of his reign was exceptionally evil. Chizkiyo was Mamsh. So Moshe wanted to make Chizkiyo Mashiach. The Sanhedrin Gog uMagog. And the war with Sanhedrin, when Sanhedrin attacked Eretz Yisrael, would have been the war of Gog uMagog. So it just sounds that Sanhedrin is the predecessor. It's the predecessor for Nebuchadnezzar. Right? Remember again, Sanhedrin is the king of Ashur. Assyria, or the Assyrian Empire, is ultimately swallowed up by the Babylonians. So Sanhedrin comes before Nebuchadnezzar. So what happens? So Amra midas hadin lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So listen to this. So why didn't Chizkiyahu become a Mashiach? I will say, listen to this. It's amazing. So why didn't Chizkiyahu become a Mashiach? So midas hadin lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ribbono shel olam. Umad David Melech Yisrael she'amar kama shiras shvachos lefanecha lo asisa Mashiach. Chizkiyahu she'asisa l'kol anisim alalo v'lo amar shira lefanecha taseh Mashiach. So amazing. The midas hadin comes before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ribbono shel olam. David HaMelech sang so many songs of praise and gratitude, thanksgiving to you, and yet you didn't make a Mashiach. Chizkiyahu has not sung one song of praise or gratitude to you. And you're going to make a Mashiach, lekach nistatim. Therefore, again, I will say, the Ribbono shel olam was silenced. That's evidenced by the silenced mem, by the full mem. That the mem was open, and Chishbar wanted to make him the Mashiach, but then the mem was closed. Also, you understand what's happening over here? Because Chizkiyahu HaMelech did not sing Shira, because he did not say thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because he did not express his gratitude in a dramatic fashion, he didn't become Mashiach. An incredible, incredible lesson. So Gemara says, Miyad, Pas Charetz v'Amra lefanav Ribbono shel olam, ani omer es lefanecha Shira, tachas tzadik zeh, v'aseh Mashiach. So the earth begins to say, Ribbono shel olam, I'll sing Shira. Let Chizkiyahu be the Mashiach. Let's get this done. Let's bring salvation. Let's bring messianic redemption. I'll sing Shira on behalf of Chizkiyahu. Pascha v'Amra Shira lefanav shneimar miknaf haaretz zimiros shemanu tzvi latzadik. Because what says the pasuk says so beautifully in Yeshayahu, from the edge of the earth we heard beautiful songs. Tzvi latzadik, perform the wish of the righteous. V'Amra Sarah olam lefnei Ribbono shel olam tzivyono asa latzadik zeh. So ultimately, again, so the Sarah Olam, but say Sarah Olam, Rashi says over here is Malach Shekol HaOlam Masr Biyado. This is the angel, I guess God's like second in command. The angel has control over the whole world, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ribbono shel olam, now the earth has sung Shira on behalf of Tzidkiyahu. So Aseh Latzadik Zeh. Tzidkiyahu Latzadik Zeh. Perform the wish of the Tzadik Chizkiyahu Mashiach. Yatsa Baskal v'Amra Razi Li. Amar Navi Oili Ad Masai. So Baskal comes out and says, these are my secrets. I can no longer make Chizkiyahu Mashiach. Then Navi cries out, woe to me. How long will it take for the Mashiach to come? Yatzasa Baskal v'Amra. Baskal comes out and says, Bogdim Bogdu, Ubagad Bogdim Bogdu. So ultimately, again, essentially the Baskal comes down and says, it'll be many more years of suffering. many more years of difficulty, many more years of trials and tribulations until the Mashiach comes. So Amar Rabbi Yitzchak Ada Asu Bazuzi Ubazuzi de Bazuzi. Ultimately, until the plunderers come and the plunderers of the plunderers come. The idea being that unfortunately there will be many more generations till Mashiach. Baruch Hashem, they're saying this a long time ago, a very long time ago. So Baruch Hashem, we're on the cusp. So the Gemara goes right there. The Gemara says, Masa Duma Elai Kore Miseir. So actually, the Gemara is quoting over here from Mishayin. Masa Duma Elai Kore Miseir, Shomer Ma Milaila, Shomer Ma Milel. Am Rabbi Yochanan, Osa Malach Hamamuna Ala Ruchos, Duma Shmo. Both say the Malach who is in charge of the Ruchos. The Ruchos refers ultimately to the spirits of the dead. So the Malach who is in charge of the spirits of the dead, his name is Duma. His name is Duma. His Kapsuk Ala Ruchos Eitzel Duma. Amru Lo Shomer Ma Milaila, Shomer Ma Milel. So all the spirits came together. But it's clearly the same story, meaning the entire universe realized that we were on the cusp of messianic redemption. We were on the cusp of Chizkiyahu being coronated as Mashiach and Geula coming. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu dials it back and he says, no, it won't be for many generations. So the world is in a state of flux. The world is in a state of disbelief. What's happening over here? See, even the spirits of the dead are coming to the Malach of Duma. It says, Duma, what's happening over here? Amar. So the pasuk goes on. We'll say this is Amar Shomer Asa Boker, the Gam Laila Tivayun Bayu, Shuvu Asayu, Tanu Mishum Rav Papis, Genaihu Lechiskiya V'Siyaito, Shalo Amra Shira Ad Shepascha Arez V'Amra Shira. So we'll say the Gemara says something amazing here. The Gemara says that it is a gnai, it's a degradation to Chizkiyahu and his followers that no one said Shira until the earth opened up its mouth and said Shira. Shneimar Miknaf Aretz Zimiros Shamanu Tzvilat Tzadik. I will say second of the widest line Tzadik Daled Amud Aleph. Kiotzi B'Davar Ata Omer Vayomer Yisro Baruch Hashem Asher Hitzil Eschem. So we'll say so too when Yisro met Moshe Rabbeinu. This is in Parashas Yisro. So Yisro says to Moshe, Baruch Hashem, praise this God who saved you. Tanam Mishum Rabbi Papis, Genaihu LeMoshe, V'Shishim Rivo, Shalo Amru Baruch, Ad Sheba Yisro V'Amru Baruch Hashem. So it's a degradation to Moshe and to Klal Yisrael that no one sang Shira, no one said Baruch up until Yisro came. They also have the obvious kashas. What does that mean? Klal Yisrael said Az Yashir. We sang Shira. So we'll say, so apparently what the Gemara is faulting Klal Yisrael is that no one said Baruch Hashem. No one said Baruch Hashem. No one just said the simply as it was beautiful Shira in Az Yashir. But no one just said, blessed is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a simple, profound, yet heartfelt formulation of Baruch Hashem, thank you, Ribono Shel Olam. Blessed are you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for doing what you did until Yisro came along. So we'll say now the Gemara mentioned Yisro, the Gemara goes back there. Vayichad Yisro. So literally again, so we'll see what this means. Vayichad Yisro means Rabbi Shmuel, Rav Amar, Shehever Cherev Chada Al Basaro. Vayichad means he took a sharp sword against his flesh. Which I will say, Rashi says, Shemal es Atzmo b'niskayer. He performed the bris milah and he converted. So that's Vayichad Yisro. Vayichad means, again, she took a Cherev Chada, a sharp sword, and he circumcised himself. He converted. Ushmuel Amar, Shenaase Chadudin Chadudin. Shmuel says that he got goosebumps. His skin literally became prickly from goosebumps. So the Gemara says, why is this? Amarav, Hainu Tisubosai. So remember, Yisro, Vayichad Yisro, Al Kalatova Sha'as Hashem Yisrael. Yisro is recounting the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu destroyed the Egyptians. Remember, the Medrash tells us, by the way, that Yisro, whether he was originally an Egyptian or spent a good amount of time in Egypt, was one of the advisors of Pharaoh. Yisro now hears, Yisro is now recounting that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has just decimated the Egyptians. So the Gemara says, Naaseh basar chidudo, he got goosebumps. What does this teach us? Amarav Hainu Darmi Inshi, Kiyura adasara darilo tivaza arma kame. This is what people say when they mean a convert. Do not disparage his original Gentile family for 10 generations. In other words, also what the Gemara is saying over here is that a person who converts, as much as they pledge their allegiance to Klal Yisrael, always has some type of connection to the family they came from, to the people they came from, to the nation they came from. So even though now Yisro ultimately again converts, becomes part of Klal Yisrael, there's a connection between him and the Egyptians. So when he hears ultimately again that they have been destroyed, he got goosebumps. And by the way, not the good kind of goosebumps, like the sad kind, like the frightened kind of goosebumps. So it was very important. So the Gemara is just telling us about a sensitivity that a person has to have to the convert, recognizing that as much as a person has cut themselves off from that previous life, has become part of Klal Yisrael, there's still a human connection that's there, and one must be sensitive to that connection. Lochein, therefore, again, the Gemara quotes over the pasuk from Yeshaya. Lochein Yishalach Adon Hashem Tzavakos b'mishmanov razon. So let's listen to this. Therefore, literally translated means the Master Hashem of all hosts will send b'mishmanov razon. So we'll say b'mishmanov literally means like the fat one, razon the skinny one. What does that mean? My b'mishmanov razon. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yavo Chizkiyo, sheyesh lo shmona shemos. Chizkiyo, who has 8 names, should come along. V'yifra mi Sanhedrin sheyesh lo shmona shemos, and should go ahead and exact punishment from Sanhedrin, who also has 8 names. We do know that Chizkiyo has 8 names. So I'll say, just to understand, just the story in Navi. What happens? Well, actually, let me read this first. Chizkiyo d'chsev. Where do we know what are Chizkiyo's 8 names? So the pasuk says over here in Yeshaya, Ki Yelod, Ki Yeled Yulad Lanu, Bein Nitain Lanu, Vatihi HaMisra Al Shichmo, Vayikra Shmo, Pele Yoetz, Kel, Gibor, Aviad, Sar Shalom. So we'll say these ultimately again are the 8 names of Chizkiyo. I have 1 second. Vayikra Chizkiyo. What he didn't mention his name, which is Chizkiyo, right? Isn't that a 9th name? To which the Gemara says Shechas Guga Ka. No, the truth is that's much more. Chizkiyo is actually a descriptive name. I will say not actually a given name. So the Chizkiyo means Shechis Guga. The Rebbe girded him and gave him much strength. Davar Chizkiyo Shechizek Es Yisrael Avim Shavashamayim. And also we're going to come back and talk about this. He was called Chizkiyo because he strengthened the bond between Klal Yisrael and Kadosh Baruch Hu. We're going to discuss how we did that in very dramatic ways. Sanhedrin, what were Sanhedrin's 8 names? The Chsiv Bey, because it says by Sanhedrin, Tiglas Pil Aser, Melech Ashur, right? Actually, we're quoting a couple of different psukim. So first it says Tiglas Pil Aser, then there's Pilna Eser, Shalman Eser, Pul, Sargon, Asnipar, Rabba, Viakira. Okay. But what about the name Sanhedrin? So the Gemara says, Sichaso Riv. Again, the Gemara posits that Sanhedrin is not an actual name, rather, it's a descriptive name. That what Sichaso Riv, that he was very contentious or very quarrelsome in the way that he spoke. So we will see that Sanhedrin almost taunted the Ribono Shel Olam and Klal Yisrael. So fine. So Gemara says the following: Davar Achar, Shesach v'nicher dvarim klapi malo, that he spoke in a very defiant fashion towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Amar Rabbi Yochanan mipnei mazacha oser rasha lekroso and sapar so asnapar. So ultimately, again, why was Sanhedrin given the privilege of having the name Asnapar if that is considered to be a very dignified name? To which the Gemara says, sorry. Lost the place. This is amazing, because Sanhedrin, as we will see, was a very bad man. But the one thing he never did is he never spoke disparagingly about Eretz Yisrael. Never spoke disparagingly about Eretz Yisrael. So Gemara says, "Shneimar ad bo'i v'lakachti eschem el eretz ka'artzechem." Well, say this is amazing. What Sanhedrin did, by the way, Sanhedrin was a brilliant tactician, and what he did was when he would conquer a land, the first thing he would do is he would uproot the indigenous population and move them somewhere else. Because Sanhedrin understood that if people are not on their home soil, they will not rebel. People only rebel when they feel a certain sense of confidence. If they're not living in their home soil, this is how the Kusim, right? You saw that the Kusim, so many times throughout Shas. The Kusim were from what land? The wild, yes. Right? Kusa. So how did they get from Kusa to Eretz Yisrael? So the answer is they were conquered. Kusa was conquered by Sanhedrin. Sanhedrin moved them to Eretz Yisrael. As we're going to see, Sanhedrin goes to war against the Eretz Yisrael. He loses terribly in the war against Yehuda, but is successful in exiling the 10 tribes, Asar Shvatim. So remember again, Malchus Yehuda is made up of Yehuda and Binyamin. The other tribes were part of Malchus Yisrael. Sanhedrin conquers Malchus Yisrael, exiles him. So he is the one who exiled the 10 tribes. So we'll say, so the Gemara is asking, how is it? We'll say, when you see someone who's evil, but if they have incredible success, you have to ask yourself, why did they merit that success? Meaning, what did Sanhedrin do that gave him this incredible siyata d'shmaya. To which the Gemara answers something amazing. He never spoke disparagingly about Eretz Yisrael. How so? When he wanted to go ahead and uproot the Jews, he said, I will take you to another land like your land. What doesn't he say? He doesn't say a land better than your land, because he's moda that there's no land better than Eretz Yisrael. So the Gemara says, Rabbi Shmuel Chadar Melech Bikeachaya, the Chadar Melech Tipei Shaya. So his machlokes, was Sanhedrin a smart king or was he a foolish king? Lamadar Melech Bikeachaya. So the one who says he's a smart king, Yamin Alu Adif Amaraichu Amru Kamashakris. Well, someone who says smart king, because if he would have said, I'm going to take you to a better land, they would have said for sure Sanhedrin is lying. Umadar Melech Tipei Shaya Imkain Mai Rabusa Lahach. Excuse me, Mai Rabuse. And they'll say it was a foolish king, because if you're not going to tell them it's a better land, why should they follow you? Now, of course, the simple answer why they're going to follow him is because he'll kill them. That's the simple answer. So the Gemara says, ultimately, again, where did Sanhedrin exile the people to? So the Gemara says, Marzutra Amar La Afriki. So Marzutra says to Africa, Rabbi Chanina Amar La Hari Slug, to the Slug mountains. Aval Yisrael Sipru B'Gnus Hashal Eretz Yisrael. So it says it's amazing. Unfortunately, however, the Jews, Klal Yisrael, spoke negatively about Eretz Yisrael. Kimatu Sos, because when they got to the land of Sos, which was one of the lands they were exiled, Amru Shavya Kiarin. This land is as nice as our land. Kimatu Almin, when they got to the land of Almin, Amru Ki Almin, our land is like Almin. Kimatu Sustori, so Amr Al Chad Train. When they got to Sustri, so they said this land is even better than our land. So we'll say, now let's go back for just a moment. So what happens? So Sanhedrin marches on Malchus Yisrael. He's successful. He marches on Malchus Yehuda. And what happens? We'll say an incredible miracle. So Ashur is camped outside of Malchus Yehuda. Chizkiyahu realizes he's outmanned. There's no way he can win this battle. He davens to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. An incredible miracle occurs that night. As Sancheriev's army slept, they were killed by a malach. They wake up the next morning, the entire Assyrian army that marched on Malchus Yehuda is dead. Not one shot fired, not one sword drawn, nothing. The malach comes, wipes everyone out. So the Gemara says, "V'tachas kivodo yikod eish." So the pasuk that the Gemara quotes over here, is literally underneath their kavod. Yikod, they were burned. Ki yikod eish, like the burning of fire. What does that mean? So the Gemara says, the Syrian soldiers were burned underneath their clothing, but their clothing themselves were not singed. So the bodies were burned, but the clothing wasn't singed. As Rabbi Yochanan used to call his clothing, those things that give me honor. Your clothing gives you honor. Therefore, again, tachas kvodo means their bodies were burned. Their bodies were burned, but the clothing was untouched. Rabbi Elazar Amar tachas kvodo mamish kisreifas bnei Aaron. So Rabbi Elazar says, no, even their bodies weren't burned. Rather, how do they die? They died like the sons of Aaron. We'll say the sons of Aaron, remember, fire entered their nostrils, killed them that way. So too the soldiers of Assyria, their body, not only was their clothing intact, their bodies were intact also. They died with this fire coming inside of their body. So Rabbi Shmuel Silber says the following: Paro, who blasphemed God himself, was punished by God himself. Sanhedrin Shechiriv Amadeus. Sanhedrin Shechiriv Amadeus Shaliach. Sanhedrin, on the other hand, who blasphemed through a Shaliach. So God exacted punishment from him through a Shaliach as well. But what this means is when Sanhedrin sent his message, blaspheming God, to Chizkiyahu, he did it through an agent, as opposed to Paro, who blasphemed directly to Moshe Rabbeinu. So therefore, Paro, who blasphemed directly, was punished by God directly. Sanhedrin, who blasphemed not indirectly, but through a Shaliach, was punished through a Shaliach. So Gemara says, how do we see this? Paro dichsiv mi Hashem asher eshma b'kolo. Paro says, who is God? I should listen to him. God exacted punishment from him himself. Dichsiv vayinar Hashem es b'tzrayim b'soch hayam. The pasuk says that Baruch Hu literally tossed the Egyptians inside the sea. So Moshe did it himself. Sanhedrin dichsev biyad malachecha charafta Hashem charafta. So when the pasuk says that by Sanhedrin, in the hands of your messengers have you blasphemed God, nifrak al yishbarach menu aydei shaliach. So God exacted the punishment from through shaliach as well. Dichsev vayetzi malach Hashem vayach b'machane Ashur meya. So this is wild. The Malach of HaKadosh Baruch Hu went out, struck down the camp of Ashur, Meya u'shmonim v'chamisha elef, 185,000 soldiers. 185,000 soldiers stricken down by a Malach in the middle of the night. Incredible. Maram kitzo uksiv malon kitzo. So we'll say, how do we reconcile those two psukim? Amar osa Rasha betchila achriv dira shamata. In the beginning, I will go ahead and strike down God's abode here in the earth. V'achakach archiv dira shamal. So what's it here? This Rishus Sanhedrin said, first I'm going to destroy the Beis Hamikdash shalmata, then I will go and destroy the Beis Hamikdash shalmala. I'm going to Rishon ben Levi. My dichsev ata hamibaladei Hashem el alisi ala makom hazel hashchiso. So I'll say the pasuk over here that the Gemara is quoting again. It's from Malachim days. So this is interesting. Sanhedrin says, "Do you think I've come here without the assistance of God to destroy this place?" So listen to this. Hashem Amar Elai Alei Ala Aretz Azosh V'Shchisa. Sanhedrin says, God has told me to do this. God has given me the message ultimately again to come and destroy this place. So the Gemara says, what does that mean? What does that mean? So Mahi. Dishama lenavi deka'amar, because Sanhedrin overheard the Navi saying, Yan ki ma'asa amazeh esmei shiloach haholchim la'at ma'at. So we'll say, so Sanhedrin overhears the Navi giving the following message: Yan, because ki ma'asa amazeh esmei shiloach, that the people have literally made disgusting, right? The mei shiloach, the shiloach spring, haholchim la'at, that go ahead and flow slowly. Umesos es ritzin ben Remayo, umesos es ritzin u ben Remayo, and instead they exalt Ritzin and ben Remayo, who are Shayim. So Sanhedrin overhears this prophetic message. What does this mean? Amar Rav Yosef, il mali tirguma dahaikra lohavi yadana ma'ikama. Were it not for the targum, for the translation of this pasuk, we would have no idea what it's saying. Chalaf dikatz amhan debal achus at the base David. Demidbar lahon benayach, kimei shilucha dinagdin benayach. What it means is the following: the people have forsaken the Davidic rulership, which is as pleasant and soft flowing as the shiloach. And I was saying, you walk through the shiloach. If you ever go through the, if you go in Ir David, right, and you go in the water tunnels, that's the shiloach. So everyone thinks it feels often like it flows very quickly, because you're in the dark and you walk in and the water's freezing, but it's a very soft flowing river. So what happens? So the Targum says the people have forsaken the rulership of the Davidic kingdom that flows softly like the Shiloach, this Iru Beritzinu ben Ramayo, and instead they've taken up the leadership of Rishon. So what's the meaning of the pasuk when it says Me'iras Hashem bebeis Rasha? So the Gemara says, Me'eras Hashem beveis Rasha ze pekach rimalyo. We'll say this refers to Pekach rimalyo, who was one of the Rishon, who was the king. Shaya ochal mem sa'a gozlos b'kinuach suda. We'll listen to this. He used to eat 40 sa'a of pigeons as dessert, which means he had an insatiable appetite. And ultimately, again, the tranquility of the tzaddikim should be blessed. So Chizkiyahu used to eat a salad, and he was full. Let's say, so by the way, what's the message of that Gemara? It's an incredible yisod. So say the only thing that truly satiates a person in this world is a meaningful spiritual relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As we've said many times, everybody has a void, has an emptiness inside of them. And all of us spend our lives trying to fill that void. The problem is, if you go ahead and you try to fill the void with the wrong things, not only is the void not filled, but the void is actually amplified and accentuated. Masha'inkin, if you fill the void with the right things, then Baruch Hashem, you're able to be full with even the most beautiful and simplest of things. Pekach ben Ramalyo tries to fill the void with Gashmius. And as such, again, he's never full. The guy's eating 40 soft pigeons. Obviously, it's hyperbolic. But it's about he's never full. He's never full. He just eat, and not even physical. Just consumes, but never full. Chizkiyahu Melech Yehuda, who has a beautiful and wonderful filling relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A salad is just perfect, incredible. So we'll say, therefore, the pasuk says, because you, Klal Yisrael, have gone ahead and have rebelled against the Davidic reign, therefore, again, I will bring upon you me'anara atzumim. Who does that refer to? The great rivers, meaning you've forsaken the tranquil waters of the Davidic reign, like the Shiloach. Now I'm going to bring upon you the great waters. Who are the great raging waters? So the Gemara says, Esmelech Ashur, Uksiv, V'chalaf, B'Yehuda, Shataf, V'avar at Savar Yagia. And therefore the pasuk says, the waters will overtake you. They will come up to your neck. Elamai time Yanish. So we'll say, so what do you see clearly? You see clearly that Sanhedrin was appointed by HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be the agent of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to bring destruction upon Klal Yisrael. Right? So why was he punished? It's a good question. Why was he punished? To which the Gemara says, Navi Aseres Hashvatim is Navi. Iu Yoav Daite Kol Yerushalayim. Because you know why? Because he got a bit too ambitious. The nevuas of the Navi of Klal Yisrael being destroyed was about the 10 tribes, because that kingdom Malchus Yisrael was corrupt. So yes, Sanhedrin was appointed by HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be the staff of God in meting out punishment ultimately to the 10 tribes. So what was Sanhedrin's mistake? Sanhedrin's mistake was when he went for Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim was off the table. Beis Hamikdash was off the table. When Sanhedrin becomes greedy, so to speak, wants to come to Yerushalayim, that's why he's punished. Also, by the way, this is the same thing you find in Rambam Hilchos Tshuva, Parak Dalet, discusses the idea of Bechira, discusses the idea of free will. So the Rambam discusses this idea. He says, why were the Mitzrayim punished? The Ribono Shel Olam told Avram Avinu that his children were going to be enslaved. So the Egyptians were simply carrying out the will of God. So why were they punished? So there's a number of different answers to that. But the Rambam says because they used excessive force. They used excessive force. At the end of the day, Moshe never told them throw the Jewish babies into the Nile. Moshe never said throw the Jewish babies into the bricks, enslave them. Yes, so had they acted in a more humane fashion towards Klal Yisrael, it's quite possible that they would not have been punished. So same thing by Sanhedrin. There is this concept that sometimes the Rebbe Shalom chooses members or nations from the Umos Olam to be the staff of God to administer punishment for Klal Yisrael. And they are doing their divine duty, and therefore, again, technically, they would not be held accountable. The problem is every single time they enjoy it too much. Every single time there's too much force. Every single time there's too much brutality. That's what they're held accountable for the brutality. So it goes weiter. But ultimately the Navi says, the nation who tires themselves in the toil of Torah will not be handed over in the hands of their oppressors. So what's here? The Gemara is quoting from the pasuk. Quoting from the pasuk in Yeshaya. Right? Ka'isa Yishon Hekel Arza Zvulun V'Arza Naftali V'Achron Hichbit Derech Hayam Evar Yardin Galil Hagoyim. What does that mean? So the Gemara says Lo Karishonim Shekilu Me'aleim Ol Torah. So ultimately, again, Malchus Yehuda is not like Malchus Yisrael. Malchus Yisrael removed from themselves the old yoke of Torah. Aval Achronim refers to Malchus Yehuda. Shechbidu Aleim Ol Torah Uruyin Halalu La'asos Lam Neis K'Ovre Hayam. So ultimately, again, the Navi tells Sanhedrin, you had a right to conquer the Aseres Hashatim, the 10 tribes, but you have no dominion over Malchus Yehuda. Malchus Yehuda is righteous. Malchus Yehuda is good. If you turn back now, you'll be saved. But if you choose to go forward, I will destroy you. Acharei hadvarim va'emes Bas Sanhedrin melech Ashur vayavo Yehuda b'Yehuda vayichan ala arim habetzuros vayomer levakam elav. So we'll say, so what happens? So after all of this, after Sanhedrin destroys, or not destroys, but exiles the 10 tribes, he decides to march on Yerushalayim. And he surrounds the walled cities, and he's ready to penetrate the walls. So the Gemara says, Hai Rishna la Hai Pardashna. So the Gemara says, this reward ultimately, again, if you look at Rashi, Rashi says, we'll say it's in the right hand column about 600 from the bottom. Hayrush lahai parandasha. V'chim evian daron kazeh la'adon kazeh. V'chim itnei sha'emes b'chiskio bas Sanhedrin. So ultimately, again, so the Gemara says that really Sanhedrin is coming ultimately again to depose Chizkiyo and to take over Yerushalayim. Va'emes achar ma'amar avina shekafas HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'nishpa va'amar i'amina le'chizkiyo. So we'll say, here's the issue. So Chizkiyo, of course, realizes that at this point in time, he's surrounded by the mightiest army in the civilized world. You see 185,000 soldiers. He has no way of repelling this threat. So what happens? So God knows that he's going to save Chizkiyo. I mean, he knows he's going to save them because, again, Sanhedrin was never given Rishus over Yerushalayim or over Malchus Beis David. He's only given Rishus over Malchus Yisrael. So God says the following. Amar lo ubaina v'lo bisu sabaina. So God's like this. If I tell Chizkiyo that I'm going to give over Sanhedrin in his hands, then what? Chizkiyo is not going to what? He's not going to daven. In other words, meaning, they will say, you see, the Rebbe Shalom doesn't want to cause Chizkiyo any unnecessary anxiety. He wants to be able to tell Chizkiyo, don't worry about it, I got this. But if I tell him I got this, then he's not going to daven. So what happens? Shre'emar nishpa Hashem tzavakos leimar im lo kasher dimisi kein haisa v'kasher ya'atzti hitakom lishbar ashu ba'artzi al haraya busenu v'sar me'alei mulo v'savlu me'al shichmo yasur v'amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Amar B'yocham HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what does this mean? Yavo Sanhedrin v'siyaito v'yasa avos l'chizkiyo l'siyaito. God swore that let Sanhedrin and his cohorts come and I will make them into a trough for Chizkiyo. What does it mean? Just as the animal consumes the contents of the trough, so too Chizkiyo will consume Sanhedrin. And it will be on that day. Yasr savlo me'al shichmech. Literally, again, the suffering of Sanhedrin will be removed from your shoulders. Va'olo me'al savarech, and his yoke from your neck. V'chova al mipnei shemen, and ultimately v'chova al mipnei shemen. And literally, again, his yoke will be removed from you. Nabasa literally means mipnei shemen because of the oil. So God's saying to Chizkiyo, don't worry, you're going to be okay because of the oil. What does that mean? Rabbi Yitzchak Nafka says so beautiful. Chova also Sanhedrin mipnei shmano shel Chizkiyo. The yoke of Sanhedrin was going to be removed because of the oil of Chizkiyo. We'll say, what's the oil of Chizkiyo? So listen to this. Shayadolik bebate knesios ubebate midrashos. Because we'll say the Chizkiyo ensured that there was always oil, there was always light in the base medrash and in the shul. We'll say, get ready for this. We'll say, as I just said before, remember who's Chizkiyo's father? Achaz. Define Achaz in one word. Russia. 2 words. Big Russia, right? Mamish, like really, really, really bad man. Really bad man to the point, if you remember again, one of the first things Chizkiyo does as king is he drags his father's remains through the street. We saw this in Sanhedrin. The Gemara really is like your father Kibbutz Av. He had to repudiate Avodah Zarah in such a dramatic fashion. He had to repudiate his father's reign in such a dramatic fashion. So what does Chizkiyo do? Chizkiyo sparks a Baal Tshuva movement. Chizkiyo sparks a Torah learning movement. Chizkiyo sparks an incredible spiritual awakening. So what does he do? So the Gemara says, because Chizkiyo kept the oil, the lights on, get the lights on in the base medrash and the shul, because of that, the yoke of Sanhedrin. So how does he do this? Once get ready for this. Ma'asa. Now, obviously, only a king could do this. Na'atz cherev al pesach beis hamedrash. He put a sword, right? He plunged a sword into the ground at the entrance of the base medrash. What does he say? Va'amar. Whoever does not learn Torah will be stabbed with the sword. So again, pretty effective. I mean, and this is the king. Now, whether he meant this literally or what he was saying is, it is a monarchical decree. We need to start learning. We need to get back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What happens? We'll say this is dramatic. So they checked again from the north to the south of the country. They both said, can you imagine this? There was not one Am Haaretz in the entire Eretz Yisrael. Everybody became Talmidei Chachamim. Mikvas Adan Tipris, get ready for this. V'lamatzu tinok v'tinokes ish v'isha shelo hayu bekirin behilchos tuma v'tara. They both say, amazing. Remember again, what happens when we see a Tum and Tara Gemara? What happens? How long is this going to be? How long is this going to be? Now that's different also because for us, unfortunately, for 2,000 years, it hasn't been halacha l'maisa. But also because the halachos are very intricate. There was not one man woman, or child who is not well versed in the laws of Tumat Tarabos. Can you imagine this? It's not just a pshat that Chizkiyahu got everybody davening, that he got everybody to be Shomer Shabbos. Everybody became Talmidei Chachamim under his reign. So the Gemara says, and by the way, now you also understand the Amud Aleph. You also begin to understand why Mashiach, why Chizkiyahu could have been the Mashiach. So I want to say, first of all, to be able to be such a dramatic, inspirational leader, that, let's be honest, putting the sword, the threat is only going to get you so far. People don't respond to threats. People are no different than anywhere else. To be able to be an inspirational leader like that, to be able to get people to learn in such a dramatic fashion, to be able to inspire men, women, children, it's dramatic. So this is amazing. They said about that generation that will be on that day that a man will live with his calf and with his 2 sheep. And they described the times of Chizkiyahu. People had expensive vineyards, but yet the vineyards were overgrown with thorns and thickets and thistles. So what does that mean? That people neglected their vineyards, they neglected their livestock, which is another way of saying that in the generation of Chizkiyahu, people became so overwhelmed by the thirst to learn Torah that they forgot about other things. The miraculous Yechadish Baruch Hu provided for them. The good news is that all of the vineyards became boutique wineries, right? So Baruch Hashem, everybody was able to make their money, and but the idea is their great passion in life became Torah, and their parnassas, their gashmias became secondary. Afal she'elef gefen be'elef kesef, even though 1,000 vines were 1,000 silver pieces, the shamer ulashis yiyeh, they were overgrown with thorns. Va'osef shlalchem osef achasas. Well, listen to this. Now remember, let's go back for just a moment. Great miracle occurs. Army of Assyria, army of Sanhedrin of Ashur is destroyed in their sleep. Now, what is the Navi saying? Go out and divide up the spoil. Also, you have to understand something. There's great wealth now lying there in the field outside of Yerushalayim. The Assyrian soldiers are dead. There's clothing, there's gold, there's silver. Go and take the spoils. Amrulo. So they asked the Navi, Livzos or Lechalik? We'll say, this is how you understand the nature of equality of a generation. So they asked the Navi, what should we do with the spoils? Does each man get to keep what he takes, or should we pool it and divide it? Listen, do you understand? Meaning to ask a question like that indicates a spiritual caliber of the generation. So the Gemara says, then the pasuk says, like the grasshopper collects, just as the grasshopper, each grasshopper collects for itself. No, each of you go out and collect for yourselves. So I'll say this is amazing. This will have to stop. Listen to what they said. They said, we know that the money of our brothers is included in this spoils. Remember again, when does Sanhedrin march on Yerushalayim? After when? After he destroys Malchus Yisrael. So we know already that the money of our brothers are in there. Amar lahem kimeshek gavim shokek ma gavim halalu ma lenes adam mitum latara. So they said that literally Ashur is like the roar of the waves. Just so the Navi is just like the waves, just like the water. It's transform a person from Tumah to Tara. So it's when it comes to the money of Klal Yisrael. Unfortunately, once the money of Klal Yisrael is taken by the Gentiles, it becomes like what? Like Gentile money. And therefore, ultimately, again, the Navi says to the members of Malchus Yehuda, you have the right to take all of the Assyrian money, even that which formerly belonged to your brothers and sisters of Malchus Yisrael. Let's stop over here for today. We'll continue with this narrative tomorrow.
I just wanted to point something out. So you said you're talking about all these great generations couldn't bring the ship. So he says, so you think of it like a barrel. He says, all those wood. He says, we're at the top. We got to keep shoving on that ship. So I thought that was, it's a cool idea.
It's also, the longer time goes on,